Hi everyone, we are back with another episode, this time about ayahuasca again, but this time is all about how do you shift your belief for deep healing. And of course, I have with me my truest partner, Clau, who is a shaman and a medicine woman who facilitates the ayahuasca during the retreats I and her together do in upcoming in May. And Clau, tell us, how can you shift your beliefs when you are fearful for a ayahuasca?
Hi, everyone, and thank you, Monique, for having me again. It is a joy to be here. Okay, so how do I shift the beliefs? I've realized that what tends to hold people back from coming to an ayahuasca journey, it's fear, right? So it
Yeah.
is a good thing to maybe allow yourself to meditate on what are the beliefs that I have about ayahuasca or a medicine like this that is going to allow me to journey inward and really see that allow yourself to see where those beliefs come from. Maybe you heard a friend saying something horrible about an ayahuasca journey, or maybe it's just stuff that you heard through media, and ultimately those are the things that we just heard here elsewhere and we adopt them as ours, and then we begin to play that program in our lives, and this is something that holds us back from having a truly beautiful experience. So I would encourage you to just take a moment and real and like ponder upon what are the beliefs that are holding me back from moving forward. Identify them and then just allow yourself to reprogram. If it's, well, because it is scary,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe reprogram it to it could be really amazing, a because it's just scary because you don't know it. We are afraid. We tend to be afraid of everything that is new, right?
Yes. Yeah. So what would be a great mindset to have, but I mean, but still be fearful about it? You could
Uh,
have something like, yeah, but I want it, but I'm so freaking afraid of it. So what could help that solve that mindset so that you're less or become more fearless about it?
I'm going to share with you something that I practice.
Okay.
We experience fear on a day-to-day basis, right?
Yes.
Sometimes
Yes.
we are aware of what that fear is, sometimes we're not. But I find that fear is an indicator for growth. Yes?
Yeah.
If you sit over here just looking at the fear, feeling the fear over and over, you're going to stay there and you're just going to be afraid of that thing that scares you. But if you look at fear as a go to place, as soon as you go to that place that scares you, you will realize that your mind was just creating all of these stories that kept you stuck and kept you from growing. And you realize that those stories weren't really true and they were
Yeah.
just holding you back. So I invite you to see fear as an opportunity for growth. Yes.
Yeah, I totally can relate to this. I'm currently in Chile, and in the beginning, when I just arrived here, everybody said to me, "Oh," and especially in Santiago, they were saying to me, and they meant well. I mean, I was the new tourist coming to Santiago. I was not aware of what danger here could happen here. So they said to me, be careful, and especially in the night, and be careful in this street, and be careful in that street. And I was like, oh my God, it's dangerous here. And I became fearful, of course. I mean, I was affected by their fear. They're projecting their fear on me. And I decided exactly what you just said. This became my go-to place. So I Googled which are the most dangerous streets in Santiago. And the next day I went together with my dog, because they said, be careful with your dog because they're going to steal your dog. And I was like, oh, I'm going to find out which streets are the most dangerous. And I'm going to those places together with my dog to see if it's true. If those stories are true. And of course, nothing happened. And the thing is, and this is something you really have to consider, because after when I went through those streets together with my dog Spirit, not on my arm, just walking, which they didn't recommend, I had so much confidence, because I was like, okay, I did it. I beat the fear, and I had self-confidence because I have had overcome my own fear, and I break through those stories myself. Because the biggest mistake we can make is adopting other people's story.
Absolutely.
Which is very common in ayahuasca, right? So that I totally can relate to that. So absolutely. So what would you, let's say, I mean, this is one thing that I did, but what would you recommend to ease down your mind, or your emotions, to go into an ayahuasca ceremony? What would you recommend?
I would probably sit and really sit with the intention to look at what are those ideas that I have adopted about ayahuasca that make me scared. And like literally like get a notepad and a pen and start identifying what are those stories. Write them down and go through each one of them and find out where did it come from and why did I decide to adopt it. And once I was able to identify it as somebody else's fear or somebody else's programming, am I ready to break through it? Am I ready to face it and see it as an opportunity for growth? Or would I be just willing to sit here and in fear, living and experiencing somebody else's fear that they have shared with me? I would encourage you to do that.
Yeah, and I think when you say this, I'm like, why did you adopted the negative story? I mean, there are also positive stories. Why didn't you adopt those positive stories, right? Instead of, oh
Exactly.
no, let give me the fear, why not? Well, give me the excitement story. But you chose to adopt the negative one, right?
Right.
When you stay in the fear.
Correct. I mean, it makes sense because a lot of us come from stress and trauma and, dysregulation. And that's what we are vibrating to, that frequency of fear. And so when someone comes and gives us that story, we adopt it because we're vibrating at the same level. Well, if you're ready to level up, sister, look at those stories and make a decision. Do you want to stay there resonating with the fear of somebody else's experience, or do you want to rise above it
Yes.
and find out what that's going to be
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah.
I encourage you to go and face it and have your own story, create your own story based on your own experience, which, it's amazing. Sitting with Mother Ayahuasca can give you such profound
Oh,
healing, and
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Well,
feel it's equivalent to
yeah. You cannot even give words to it.
yes.
And one of the things that for me is the embodiment of healing your trauma. That is so freaking profound. I mean, you can talk about it, you can read books about it, but the ayahuasca makes you feel it, and in your body, like full. It is a full body experience, and
Yeah.
a lot of. I mean, if you look at the law of attraction, or people who teach about abundance, which I also do, about love and money. As soon as people feel the feeling of how it feels, then they can relate. Wow, and this is an opportunity to have this full body experience, and then you will understand what you're wasting your time with before. Because in one night you are executing yourself into the light with such a healing accelerator. I never experienced that, and I have done a lot of stuff to heal my trauma, but this was so profound. So I invite everyone to do an ayahuasca, and if you want to learn more about love and money as well, to awaken your bliss goddess, that's something we do as well. I will share the link below, and thank you so much, Clau, for today's session, and thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next episode. Bye for now.
It was a pleasure. Bye bye.